To the three-man weave best bet show presented by Circa Sports. Yes, yes,
He's
Circa
up.
Sports, the most wonderful sports of Circa in the world. And they're giving away a cool giveaway. If you hit the link in the description to our video, actually, it might not be there yet, but it will be by the end of this show after I edit everything. Check out our Twitter handle, 3MW underscore CBB, for the link right now if you want the access right now. Circa is giving away a 3 free night stay March 28th through 31st weekend, Elite 8, Sweet 16 weekend. The boys will be there doing live shows from Stadium Swim. You'll get a day bed, no minimum spend, courtesy of Circa. You'll get limo transportation from the airport and to the airport, Jim. We're going to just assume it's to and from. Definitely
To,
from.
to and fro,
Okay,
Kai.
good.
To and fro. Oh, yeah.
Good, fantastic. Yes, we're going to be drawing the winner of that on Saturday, our Saturday Best Bet Show, March 9th. So get those entries in right now. All it takes is a name and email address. That's all you got to do. And then you'll find out if you win. So join that competition, giveaway, if you will. And then let's do some takeaways, fellas, before we get into the slate. Lovely slate. Day ball today. Conference tournaments taking over. Jim, you go first.
Yeah, my takeaways are somewhat limited because I was limited to watching only ESPN2 on the Southwest flight last night. So I watched specifically Tennessee and South Carolina and BYU, Iowa State. Quite honestly, I was impressed with both losing teams. I thought South Carolina hanged around. That's not right. Made some shots. Colin Murray-Boyles is legit, but Tennessee just a little too much Dalton Connect. So nice W for Tennessee. And then, man, Iowa State, it took like a lightning strike second half run. Curtis Jones hit 2 threes and Lipsey had a couple and ones. The ball pressure got to BYU, but man, Cougars had it right down to the wire at a place that no one has won this year. Just the 5th undefeated home season for Iowa State this season, and BYU almost backed up the Allen Fieldhouse win with that one. So pretty impressed with them, Matt. Two good games I got to watch on the flight.
Undefeated at home, Iowa State. Hilton Magic, so real. What a return from the ashes, rise from the ashes after that disastrous, was it 2021 season? And they were 2 and a million
Yeah, they went
losses,
0 and 18 in the
0 and
league.
18
Yep.
in the league, and now here they are at the top of the totem pole. Good for them. Yeah, the Dalton Connect, I was like, I had watched him play in a couple weeks, to be honest. Just hadn't seen Tennessee on my tele. But God, the shots he's making, just insane. Like that Tennessee team is just really dangerous. Like that was an awesome home crowd. Gamecocks played very well. He couldn't make shots early. Like if they made more shots, they'd probably actually win that game. But still, I mean, Tennessee's defense is buttoned up and Connect's just different. Hashtag a different dude.
He is different, Matthew. And Tennessee and Houston have locked up their leagues. SEC and Big 12. Houston, yep, they won the Big 12. Are they good yet? They're good. They also might have lost Javier.
No, who's still doubting Houston good?
Uh,
I think that's you're yelling at a cloud. I feel like everyone thinks Houston's good now. Everyone's convinced.
Okay.
Right?
I'm more so talking to the people like six.
Matt, I promise you they will get most vulnerable.
Okay.
I'm more so talking to the people 3 months ago when Houston was still number 1 in KenPom, saying they weren't very good, overrated. Yeah, that Iowa State game, they won the last 10 minutes 23-9. It was Hilton Magic indeed, that comeback. BYU, man. Almost got there. And then finally Villanova, danger zone. They make the bubble even more interesting with a loss to Seton Hall. I still think they're on the right side of it, but the bubble is murky, man. I know we say it every single year. This might be the most bubbly bubble that I've seen in at least the last couple of years. Every team is like the same. It's like a Rorschach test to the extreme. But enough of that. Enough of the speculation on the bubble. Let's get into actual games. We're going to start with the boring stuff, the regular season stuff, and get that out of the way early in the show. Let's go to Colorado and Oregon. This is at Oregon, folks. The Ducks -2.5, -3.5. Again, who cares? Who cares about this game? Jim, Colorado cares. They need this win. If they get it, they have a very good shot at the NCAA tournament, especially if they win the next 2 games on the road. Oregon, kind of dead for fraternity hopes. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, that's basically it's it for Colorado. The hole in their profile is they just aren't winning on the road. This would really improve the resume metrics. A game that's basically a 50-50 toss-up, and those metrics are right on the cut line right now. Cody Williams status, Matthew, I'm expecting you to be my injury guy there.
I didn't get Boyle's coach's show. I'm sorry I failed you, Jim. I'll check.
That's all right.
I'll check.
Okay. That's okay.
Boy.
Speaking of Mr. Boyle, though, Maddie, he is 15-10 lifetime against the spread against Dana Altman, and 8-3 in the last 11. So kind of recent ownership, the Buffs over the Ducks. It's been a bit of a swoon to the point that Altman had to like reiterate that he's not planning to retire. That was a report that came out, Phil 68. So that doesn't give me great warm and fuzzies. I don't think there's awesome vibes around this Oregon team right now. Colorado whipped them at Boulder this year. Means a little more. Boyle rolling. I lean towards the Buffs on the road, man. It doesn't feel great, but I do.
I kind of do too. I didn't bet it because it's sort of like a don't fade a Big Ten home team unless you have a good reason to. Don't bet Colorado or Utah away from home unless you have a really good reason to. Ultimately, why I stayed away here. I know Jermaine Couisnard, you mentioned missed practice with illness. He's supposed to play today. But like the whole thing with Ullman this year, as it's kind of been the problem with him the last few years, like he's had a ton of turnover with his staff, but he's had a lot of injuries and no roster continuity, not just year to year, but within season. Every midweek press conference is him just like, yeah, I didn't have enough to practice today again. Had to sit a few guys out, just kind of ran around and did some shooting drills. And same was the case yesterday with their arguably best player coming off a 30-point explosion, not in practice. All that said, Kai, I like Oregon. I do not like it at 3. Mark, I got the better number here. Bet it up to from 1, I think it opened at.
Yeah. I mean, the Buffs have been rolling. I think they're the better team, but have we said the road stats yet? Because they're bad for Colorado.
Sure.
Yeah, 2-7 against the spread on the road this season. 2-6 straight up in Pac-12 play. I think the line feels inflated because of that. I think it's partially due to the home road splits. Because again, there's no doubt he's better right now. Colorado's a better team. They're good from everywhere offensively. Playing Boyle ball that gets a lot of hate. But man, their offense has been great this season. Top 25 in the country. They can shoot. I like this team a lot. I lean Colorado in this game, guys, despite their home road splits. That's right. Being a little bit bold there. Just a lean. Okay, next one, the Apple Cup, Washington and Wazoo. And yes, as somebody pointed out in the chat, this is the final matchup between these two squads as Pac-12 rivals. I assume they're still going to play each other after the move, but who knows? Sour grapes, whatnot. Matthew, Wazoo's laying around 7, 6.5 last time I checked. Your thoughts?
Very easy stay away for me. Washington quietly playing better down the stretch. Like I think another team that's been crippled with some pretty key injuries. They've been whack-a-mole, I guess, but still playing better. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Now you go to your rival in the quasi-revenge spot, lost at home. A game you probably should have won, by the way. They had that game won at the Alaska Airlines Arena. So I just a slight lean Jim on the spot. Washington State, I feel, again, they're sort of in this hangover we know we're in, basically. Don't feel like they're a team I want to trust to lay margin with, given the psychological complacency, I guess we'll call it, that team's in.
Yeah, and it's not like they have a bunch of shot creator scoring guards that are going to explode in offense and run up the score here against an arch rival. This felt a little high to me. I'm not in any rush to the window to bet Mike Hopkins against Kyle Smith. Just not going to do it. But 7 points definitely felt high to me, given that I think Washington will play up for a rivalry game. Wazoo heavily reliant on Miles Rice, and Washington has a couple guys that they can throw at him to at least limit him, force other guys to create, make Yakimowski or Jalen Wells do stuff off the bounce. Isaiah Watts making shots lately. Of course, Wazoo has plenty to play for. If they win this and get one Arizona loss, they get the 1 seed in the Pac-12 tournament. So complacency shouldn't be a worry. It's more kind of just the rivalry, high stakes. I think the spread is just a tad too high, lean towards Washington.
Yeah, there's no complacency, man. They win the Pac-12 with a win here, and Arizona is at UCLA and at USC. It's crazy to think Kyle Smith it could win this league, and he's probably gone very, very soon, unfortunately for Washington State. But man, what a great coach. Game 1, you guys mentioned it. Wazoo won this one in Seattle, overtime. Each team kind of has the requisite size at the 3 and the 4 to match up with each other really well. I think that's usually an advantage they have. Wazoo could not stop Brooks in game 1. I still think Miles Rice is the difference. He's the biggest game breaker on the floor. I think Wazoo still has the interior edge, a huge rebounding edge, but I'm going to agree with both of you. The spread feels a bit high to me. It's not something I'd want to lay with Wazoo. All right, final Pac-12 game we're going to talk about on the main rundown here. Arizona is at UCLA. We just mentioned Arizona. They need to win out if they want to win the Pac-12 and keep that 1 seed. At least hope's alive. Some people think Tennessee's the 1 seed now. I don't. I think it's Arizona still if they win out. Arizona -8.5, -9. Jim, you get the first crack.
A little high. Also, UCLA played them mega tough in Tucson. I ended up live betting that game at halftime on Arizona money line and felt somewhat fortunate to get it across the finish line. UCLA was there the whole time. They had some outside of their realm shot making that game, which is part of why I live bet Arizona. But I guess I feel like a team that can rise here, Matt. They're going to junk it up with their defense. I think you actually get a decent Poly Pavilion because of the team that's coming to town here. And Cronin strikes me as a good underdog coach. Physical, muck it up. The international guys are giving them a little bit more of late. Stefanovic has been rock solid. And Arizona's whole thing is near proximity shots. Kai, you retweeted something from CVB Analytics about teams with the closest or the highest percentage of shots near the rim. Arizona's right up there, and UCLA has the size to contest that with Mata, with Bona. So I think this one stays close, Matthew, within single digits, and a lean towards UCLA.
I feel like this is the widest range of outcomes of the entire day situation. Like Arizona could win by 30, and you could see Mick Cronin just sitting with his arms crossed on the bench, sort of like, haha, take this, you young, weak, soft, downy cush balls. This is the lesson you need to learn as he continues his tryout period for his next season, or so he claims. However, they competed over the weekend. Like the Washington State final was a little deceiving. Game was very close until that technical Cronin kind of ballooned the game and sort of the Cougars ran away with it there. But 8.5 on the road, Arizona. I do actually lean toward Arizona, but Mick Cronin is always profiles as a feisty dog in good spots. I just don't know, Kai, if this team's has the moxie where they're at right now to rise and compete here. So I didn't touch it.
Yeah, Arizona's dropped stinkers on the road before, right? Oregon State and Stanford. They've lost to this season. Now, both those teams shot out of their butts in that game, in those games. Can UCLA do that? I'm not sure they have the firepower. 284th in the country in three-point percentage, 338th in three-point attempt rate. They don't exactly get hot. Game one, they jumped on Arizona. Jim, I think, mentioned a little bit. They're up 19 on Arizona in that game. Arizona streaky shooting. That's kind of their problem as well. 6 for 26 from three. Caleb Love, a 79.0 rating. We've said it before, over-reliance on Caleb Love in late-game situations is a huge problem. But a lot of times, Arizona doesn't even get to those situations because they're blowing teams out. I kind of think Arizona lays the smackdown today on UCLA. I understand how close it was in game one. I just think Arizona is far and away better, can score easier. I will give UCLA's transition defense a lot of credit, though. It's been great this season. That is a huge plus in their category, in their bucket against a team that loves to run as Arizona does. So slight lean for me on the Wildcats there. All right, Big Ten country. Here we come. Rutgers at Wisconsin. Last game before the chat mob part one. Lots of good chat in the chat mob today. Wisconsin, the Badgers. Jim, your Badgers. Can they stop the bleeding? 9 straight non-covers. 1-12 against the spread, last 13. Oh my gosh. The resume's excellent, but the record's getting gross. Your thoughts?
Yeah, why would you trust this team right now? I certainly don't want to. Offense has been stuck in the mud a little bit for a while now, and now you're taking on a tremendous defense. Matt, this just screamed under to me, and it's taken a little bit of money down, 133 down to 131.5. That makes sense to me. Badgers have kind of reformed into your standard Badgers of half court, muck it up. They had the little bit of Tennessee momentum where AJ Storr is added and suddenly this team can score.
We're fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at this. And it's not really the case anymore. They just played a bit of a shootout with Illinois, but I think that's more a symptom of Illinois being a high scoring juggernaut with no defense than anything else. So yeah, like the under here, lean Rutgers. I don't love Rutgers on the road, so this is a big stay away on side. But yeah, under for me, Matthew, is my favorite bet in that game.
I like it, Jim. Yeah, 131.5 at Circa now. It does feel a little high. I mean, Rutgers, is capable of putting up a 45-point, just disastrous offensive performance, even without Mog, who's been more of a defensive guy historically, but I feel like they've also missed his offense as well. I just don't have a ton of wing shooting or skill there. I like that all these home hype spots with like a revenge angle to them seem to get hit pretty consistently. Wisconsin, USC, Washington State. Well, sorry, not Washington State, just Wisconsin, USC, namely. I can't lay 10 with Wisconsin right now, Kai. Just can't. I know Rutgers is struggling without Mog, but if he comes back or if he were any semblance of himself tonight, I think it's actually a pretty good bet on the dog.
Yeah, sucks Rutgers kind of came back down to earth after getting that.
Is it Mag
boost.
or Mog? Sorry, Mag. Mawat Mag. I'm saying Mog. Mawat Mag. Thank you. Stupid. My bad. Hand up. Continue, Kai.
I don't know, to be honest. Yeah, they beat Wisconsin. Rutgers beat Wisconsin by 22 in that stretch when they kind of played well with Williams in the lineup. All of a sudden, got the boost. 10 for 17 from three in that game. Rutgers was. I'm not sure that's really sustainable for the 277th best offense in the country. I do kind of think Wisconsin punches back. Rutgers probably won't shoot out of their butts, and they usually need to control the offensive glass to score offensively. There's no better defensive rebounding team in the Big Ten than Wisconsin. Obviously, Wisconsin is much better offensively than Rutgers, but I scary lane double digits with the Badgers. So a slightly into Wisconsin, definitely not strong for that one. All right, chat mob round one. I know we got quite a few questions here. Matt's been rounding them up, I believe. Let's get to them.
Yes, of course. The mobster best bets locks today.
Why are you covering your microphone? What are you doing?
I'm just kind of holding it, kind of grabbing it.
It's hurting your audio.
Is it hurting my audio? Oh, really? Oh, wow. I'm sorry.
Yes.
My fault. I wanted to grab it with a profound approach there, but
Snape
the locks.
Obviously, GIF.
Lock of the day from Pat Taylor, Jacksonville +6.
It's on the rundown.
Like it.
On the rundown.
Pat, we'll get to it later. Lonty also already discussed Oregon -3 is his best. We're announcing the best bets. Kind of important to get to the best bets of the chat mob because their best bets win. Ours don't win. Ours are losers generally. So it's more important that we get out winners to the audience here. Helms like UCLA +8.5. Talked about that a little bit. An American -4 to the extra board, Jimbo. Your American Eagles kind of trending up? ?
Yeah, I thought they were. And they got healthier, and then the last game of the year kind of laid a bit of a stinker that was a bummer to me. I thought they were going to win that game and maybe even cover. But yeah, I think kind of the reset of the postseason, given the fact that they are healthier, maybe a little undervalued from the games where they did not have Sprouse and Smalls and Stevens. It still didn't get Mayock back, who started every game that he was healthy, and I think he is a solid contributor. But I do agree. American, probably a good bet. Lehigh in the same vein, in case anybody asks about that. Also healthier and a road favorite at Lafayette. So I think both those teams are good value in the Patriot tournament.
JJB lock of the day, Arizona State +9.5. I alluded to the USC steam. I do kind of like USC playing better, healthier, but I mean, I don't know. Laying 9.5 with that team, it's a little too high for me. So I agree with JJB's. Yeah. I agree with his angle against the market here. Good price.
Stanford has the size. They always seem to.
Arizona State, USC.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, sorry. Yes, they always seem. Yeah. Oh, never mind. Remove my take.
Jim, do you have a take on Stanford, California? Somehow not on the outline. Fierce rivalry in the NorCal area here. Mark Madsen against his Fomus.
What's the name?
I don't think it does.
It's the big game in football.
Big game
is literally just the big game. So,
Mark Madsen coaching against the team that probably should have hired him. Questionably.
Yeah,
definitely.
I like Cal. Unfortunately, I think Jared Haas is kind of a walking zombie, walking lame duck at Stanford right now, and California. Better coach. Stanford's had some injury issues, guys in and out. I like Cal, Matthew.
Patty Taylor asking about Moorhead playing against SIU Edwardsville, who looked pretty damn good yesterday. Got healthier. Terrence Thompson back up front. Some major steam came in on Moorhead around about an hour and a half ago. I grabbed some +10 SIUE. Our boys, St. Louis's finest, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, close to East St. Louis. Yeah. Yeah, Moorhead. Wow. Shout out Manscaped. I think SIUE is the better play here. I say hesitantly. SIUE beat them, right? In a televised game.
Yep.
I watched some of that game. They talent-wise, they're not bad.
They beat them when they were playing well too. That's the key point. Like it was sort of like in the middle of this Moorhead by 25 every game. They lost to SIU.
Yeah, I think
SIU's good.
I think laying double digits in conference tournament games, especially in these lower conferences, I think it's asking for trouble. I would lean towards SIUE.
Yeah, it seems like this team's probably just SIUE played late night back to back now. Like that's probably all that is.
This game is late at night though, so it kind of gives them an extra couple hours maybe to, I don't know. That's all bogus. Who knows? Michael Zhang, the King, Murray, Missouri State, Jim, Arch Valley outline. Action.
On the outline.
We'll get to that in a second. Mr. Zanger, sorry, I don't have the outline in front of me. Did not copy it down. Yep. A lot of games from Harry are with Louisiana Tech, Tarleton, UT Rio Grande Valley. Let's talk Tarleton, UT Rio Grande Valley. Some whack action.
I think they play Utah Valley, Matthew.
Yeah, so Utah Valley plays Tarleton. I like Utah Valley there, Kai. Take on that game. Some money came in on the Wolverines on the road against my Texans and Joseph Jones.
I lean Utah Valley as well. The Billy Gillispie extension is not being received very well by Tarleton brass and I think Tarleton fans because Jones has been incredible as their head coach. They've been amazing with him. Now he's still coaching. Gillespie said he's letting Jones coach out the rest of the year. Just think it's a little outside noise if you want to take that angle ever so slightly into Utah Valley.
And then Jim, UT Rio Grande Valley, this team is basically a corpse. Why should we not continue to fade them? I think the answer is we should. Hosting Utah Tech as a 5-point home dog.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love the spot, but UT Rio Grande Valley is down to like 5-6 scholarship guys. Like they are ravaged completely. I think Figure's kind of at his wit's end there. Utah Tech just had a little more juice right now. It would be Utah Tech or nothing for me there.
Matty, let's get to 2 Big West games and back to the outline here. Matty Akers, UC Davis at UC San Diego. UC San Diego, I think, needs us to stay in the Big West title hunt. They're a game back of Irvine, laying 6.5 to Davis, who's a good and well-coached team. I like Davis. Kai, your thoughts? Plus 6.5.
Yeah, I lean their way, but I don't think I've gotten a UC San Diego game right all year, and I've certainly faded them. I've faded them quite a few times, so no thanks. Tritons are good.
Yeah,
I surrender.
Game is 9 at KenPom. 6.5 seems low. So yeah.
KenPom has laughing at people with the UC San Diego. He got them right early and got them right throughout the year, and the market disagreed, but he was right. Jim, finally, Long Beach, UC Santa Barbara. What a disastrous year for the Gauchos, by the way. Good grief. The Thunderdome has been bringing the noise every night, but they just lose there all the time. Catching 5 at the beach. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Santa Barbara might be a really good bet in the conference tournament. I think right now they are a carcass. I don't really have it. I mean, they beat Cal Poly by 8 right before they fired John Smith. Like, they're not blowing anybody out. They're not playing up well. They just lost to Fullerton, who's been kind of terrible this season. Stay away from Barbara or fade them. And then conference tournament, I think you step in with the talented team rising back up to preseason expectations.
All right, a lot more to come. Rundown. We continue part 2.
All right, Matt, any guesses what our first game is on this rundown, part 2?
It says MSU versus MSU. I don't know. Is that Murray versus Missouri State?
Oh, he did write it down. Look at this.
Something up here. Why is the rundown the holy grail of structure? We're so rigid and lame. Let's just have conversation about basketball. Let's just talk basketball. Let's talk ball.
Assume you prep so you know what's on the house.
Yeah, I did. I handicapped the whole slate last night. I'm prepped, baby. Let's go. Ask me questions. I'm ready. Let's go.
That's your prep.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right, fair enough.
I don't have a. Do you have a teleprompter script, Mr. Host, with your?
I got notes written down. Sure, okay, I do. I don't need notes. It's all here, baby. I'm not a.
It's all here.
A Mentat from Dune. I mean, I need stuff written down in front of me.
Nice.
Yeah, shout out Twofer. Okay, Missouri State. Versus Murray State. Arch Madness, baby. It's our favorite tournament. We love it. Murray, Jim, swept the series. They won by 24 at Missouri State. No Damian Mayo that game, and they won by 10 at home against Missouri State. Do they have their number? Or not? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think they have the number. I think they're better. I don't get good vibes around Missouri State right now. There's a lot of talks that job might open up. I don't know for sure if that's going to happen, but I think that is worth mentioning because I think Ford's kind of not on the way out, but it could be the team might not be all the way in here. And Murray State looked pretty good down the stretch. They gave Indiana State a solid game to end the year. And Steve Prohm, Matthew, one of the best conference tournament coaches against the spread in the country, 14-5 in his coaching history, most of that at Murray State on neutral floors in the OVC. Now we're back to Arch Madness here. Yeah, I like Murray a fair amount. And we talked about Arch Madness unders on the Action Best Bets podcast. Been awesome for the last 15 years, but if you zero in on the last 5, it's a little less strong. I think markets started to catch on. So tread a little lightly with those Arch Madness unders. And Matt, yeah, definitely Murray State for me here.
Yeah, the league's changed. I mean, there's just teams that run more now. And everyone used to play at a snail's pace. Now it's been, it's opened up a little more. Indiana State, either Northern Iowa, playing a little bit in transition.
Yeah, add Belmont and Murray, both kind of move.
Murray, and UIC. I don't really know what they're trying to do. I don't think they know what they're trying to do. They run, but sometimes they don't. Though it's weird. They don't have an identity. They need an identity. Luke, figure it out there. Back to this game. Kai, Dana Ford talked ad nauseum in my deep prep of this show last night. Murray's matchups are a real issue for them. Like they cannot contain like the positionless stuff that they bring to bear. So I know people like saying beating a team 3 times is hard. I think the data actually says the opposite. Like if you've beaten a team twice, unless you're in like a tough spot, that's a sustainable edge going forth. All that said, my gut, my loins are screaming the Bears rise to their true talent level when we see them win today. So
Wow,
I lean
going
Bears.
Bears. Okay, that's because your parents went to Missouri State.
Yeah, that's a complete parents
complimentary.
bias take.
Homer,
Yeah.
rise up, Boomer Bear.
Well,
Marty the Sign Guy.
I agree with Ford, man. It's clear Missouri State can't defend Murray in both games. Game 1, 60% inside the arc. Game 2, 68% inside the arc. They can't defend them. Murray has bigger athletic wings, Rob Perry, and Nick Ellington's been a monster as an undersized 5. He's crushed them, especially last game. Missouri State can't shoot, and that's bad news against Murray, man. They pack it in. They dare you to beat them from the perimeter. Missouri State's the worst three-point shooting team and free throw shooting team in the Valley. I think that's bad news for the tournament. Give me the Racers, man. I like the Murray State Racers in this game. Throw it back to the old school Racers, right? John Morant, those guys. Okay, next game. Hey, another tournament game. Yeah, we're conference tournaments the rest of the way through here on the rundown. I love it. Northern Kentucky at Wright State. Wright State laying 6.5, 7 points. Matt, you're the Horizon guy of the Weave. Thoughts on this game?
Yeah, everyone's picking Wright State as their darling to win this tournament. I agree with that sentiment generally. I think 7's a big number, though, against Northern Kentucky. I just feels like I know they're at home. I know Nagy's had success against that zone, and I know Northern Kentucky's sort of reeling as they have been to a degree without Sam Vincent, but it does feel like a big number for a team that can give up 95 in a heartbeat. But because it'll play to such a high number, totals at 160.5, you kind of have to look at that 7 that gives you like a sticker shock and treat it like a 5 or something, just with how up and down it is. And they're a great free throw shooting team, Wright State too, with Holden and Calvin. If it gets, if they're up 4 late, it probably bleeds to 6-7. Jim, I have nothing profound. Sorry, nothing. I really, this is a good line, both total and side for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't have like a play on it, just a little info on it. Both these coaches are very good in tournament play. Nagy 18-13, Darren Horn 13-9 against the spread. Kai, this is typically the final. Like this is usually all right. These teams are actually meeting in the Horizon final. Which one's going to get all the way through? But Vincent getting hurt for Northern Kentucky kind of torpedoed them. Wright State doesn't play defense. Maybe they tighten the screws a little in the postseason, and perhaps the NKU zone mucks things up a little bit where there could be an edge for the under here. But the fact that it's a true home game and not in some like cavernous neutral arena, which is where a lot of the conference tournament unders get their value, in my opinion. Not going to bet that. Not going to touch a side here. Just hoping Wright State gets through for the old conference tourney future that I kind of stupidly bet.
Yeah, Wright won both games this year, 7-6. Both were high-scoring affairs. Wright State, kind of like Murray State, they crushed Northern Kentucky inside, which is weird because Northern Kentucky plays the zone. You wouldn't think that. Wright State's just a really good offensive team, especially against zones. They have the shooting, best shooting team in the Horizon. Trey Calvin and Tanner Holden, arguably the 2 most talented players in the league, and they're on the same team. I just think that's a huge edge in a tournament setting. They had the inside edge, too, against Northern Kentucky, in my opinion, with Noel and Brown. Wright's just the better team here. Guards prevail. Now, 7 is getting there to where it's like, I think twice about laying it from a spread perspective. I think Wright State moves on. I'd be a little hesitant laying 7, just because I do like this NKU team, even without Vincent. I do think Horn is a good coach down there.
Yeah, it should be mentioned. Tajiri, the big guy for Northern Kentucky, has missed a couple games. I don't know for sure what his status here. He's a really good defender. If he's out, then Wright State can score even more prolifically inside.
Agreed. Okay, ASUN action finishes us off. And once again, I'm just going to put a little disclaimer here. Don't bet the ASUN. Don't bet the ASUN. It's impossible. Anything you think is going to happen won't. Even if you think the dogs are going to win, they won't happen. The favorites will win. So we're going to start with North Alabama at Austin Peay. Both these games are at campus sites. Jim is pointing, so I'm going to give Jim the first throw here. Again, throw logic out. Just throw it out the window, Jim. Just go with your gut here. Peay's laying 3.5, I think, last time I saw.
Yeah, maybe I'm a big dumb idiot because I'm going with the best bet here. But it's on a total, Kai, so perhaps that somewhat negates the fear of the sides because, I don't have a super strong take on side. I'm going the over. I think we see points in this game. I watched the Austin Peay game last time. They benched Cy Witt for extended periods of time. He didn't play like the final 12 minutes of regulation and overtime. So they're playing like 5 guards, like legitimately no one taller than 6'3", kind of 6'4", getting to the rim at will. They have no rim defense at all. Interior defense for Austin Peay is completely bereft. North Alabama and Austin Peay both scored at will in the most recent meeting, 87-79 in like a 65 possession game. I think we see something similar here. Lots of points, Matthias, neither team really stopping the other. Not a strong take in the side. I don't know. Austin Peay's lack of defense scares me too much to back them, but I do think we see a lot of points. Best bet over. Sorry, Kai, what was my number?
Good question.
148 and a half, 148 and a
148 and a
half
half.
at
I will
Seize Up
take it.
Circa, I believe.
I will take it. I think it's very good that Austin Peay had a
excellent.
day off, considering the overtime and thin rotation that they have.
Also for North Alabama, kind of geography facts. I know you're a fan. A 45-minute trip.
I was going to say that. Good job.
Thank you. So easy travel for UNA there, but Jacksonville, obviously much farther. 700-mile trip to get to Stetson on the other side of the A-Sun bracket. But I wanted North Alabama at 5. I didn't get it. It's sitting at 4. Now it's actually down to 3 at some other shops. Pass for me. I think the guard play of UNA is going to be the difference here, especially if Witt is either banged up or just not going to be played. I think you need his rim protection or him as a difference maker up front against this kind of brittle UNA front line.
I love UNA's guards. Peay's guards are awesome. Also, this is
so good.
This is good guard central. I think that's part of the reason the over is a pretty good play here. Damian Forrest, the big guy for UNA, is highly underrated. Watching him in the last game,
yeah, he's pretty good.
He moves well. He's skilled. I think that's pretty key against Witt. Peay did win both games during the season. One game was in overtime. I think even though they had a day off, I think Peay playing overtime 2 days ago is important. Then roster, man. 3 guys played more than 40 minutes. Another guy played 39. The travel from Nashville to Clarksville, Matt mentioned, it's under an hour. I like North Alabama here. Again, don't bet the A-Sun. I'm wrong every time on this league, apparently. So, caveat, but I like North Alabama here.
I guess I should be endorsing Austin Peay for my Missouri State alumnus community. 4 of their 5 guys are from Missouri / played at Missouri State.
Yeah.
Isaac Haney, DeMarcus Sharp, Jamonta Black, and Des White's from Jeff City, I think.
Will Corey Gibson be wearing combat boots and army pants? I don't know.
Just here to serve, baby. Just here to serve.
Tony Poole, man. I trust that guy in a tournament setting. He made the finals as an 8 seed in this league in 2021. He's motivated. Okay, Jacksonville at Stetson. That's where we're going to end the show before Chat Mob Part 2 and a Best Bets recap. Yeah, Jacksonville is the darling of the A-Sun right now, man. They took down the top seed, EKU. They look like the team that we thought they'd be all year, Matthew. But Stetson is no slouch, and they beat the Dolphins easily in both games this year. Stetson's laying around 5.5, 6. Your thoughts?
I like Jacksonville. I just think the mojo continues. A team that we thought would be really good this year, probably last year too. Maybe this is fluky and they're really not actually that good and they're not figuring out they just gotten hot in 2 games. I probably will find out the hard way tonight, but I do think Jacksonville is very real. I think I'm just going to take and ride the mojo, despite the travel concerns I cited earlier, Jim.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is kind of a team reverting to preseason, maybe our expectations. I don't know if they were picked super high in the A-Sun in preseason, the official poll, but I mean, you look at the roster, Robert McCray is a Wake Forest transfer, dictating everything. They've got pretty skilled, like Dewan Pruitt played in the NCAA tournament last year for SEMO. Jarius Cook was at North Dakota State, pretty solid place to come from. Nye Black was originally East Tennessee State commitment, then really good in junior college. Like this roster has legit talent. And it seems like it's finally starting to rise on the biggest stage. Kai, Stetson, solid, really well coached team, or not, fairly well coached. But Blackman can score like crazy. Swenson is a really good point guard, and my guy Gattaretzi is still continuing to play well. But I lean Jacksonville here.
Yeah, Jacksonville has to get out on shooters, man. Jordan Mincy, if you're watching, I know you are. Please overemphasize the 3-point line. Stetson 13 for 27 and 11 for 26 in both games against Jacksonville this year. They can shoot. They will shoot, and Jacksonville's had a real problem stopping them from shooting in their 2 games. Stetson's also a good defensive rebounding team, but I think Jacksonville wins the offensive rebounding battle against anybody. I saw what they did against EKU and Cozart. Bryce Workman is a working man. That guy is awesome on the glass. He is crushing it in the paint. I assume he just wasn't healthy all year because he looked like an all-conference player against EKU and even in the first game. So I lean Jacksonville here again. Again, throughout all logic, Stetson killed him twice. Why would Jacksonville cover 6? It doesn't make sense. It's the A-Sun. Okay, Chat Mob Part 2, Matthew. Let's do it, and then let's finish the show with some best bets.
Eric asking about UAB at Temple, one of these kind of like forgettable high major late season conference games. UAB off of, I don't know if they're Are they still melting from the second half against Memphis? I don't know. I hope they're upright and walking when they travel to Philly, Kai, to take on a quietly upsurging Al team. Healthy, finally. +2.5, short dog. Your thoughts?
I don't really have a huge opinion in this game. I tend to care little at all about regular season games once conference tournaments start.
Yeah.
My eyes go straight to the conference tournament games. I lean UAB. I think it's a little bit short.
Jimbo, we'll get some extra read all about it action for you in the Patriot because we are so patriotic here. Noah Haynes, sorry if it's been asked. Noah, don't ever apologize for being redundant. That's kind of my entire MO. So it's a safe space with me. You can always ask any questions in duplicitous form. American Bucknell, already discussed that. So, but just want to rehash it. Jim, we like American. I love American actually today.
Yep, lean American. Yep.
How about Boston Navy, 3.5, going against the midshipmen? Sorry, Blue Chicken. I am a midship man today. I'm riding with the Sea Troops, sailing with the Sea Troops.
Yeah, I am too, Matt. Ed DeChellis, another pretty good conference tournament coach, getting points. Boston U is a little smoke and mirrors to me. I think they caught some teams in good spots down the stretch, like American without their guards, Loyal Maryland without Deion Perry, and maybe look a little better than they really are.
Kai, some more Horizon action. Milwaukee +2 against Green Bay. Noah Reynolds, aka Batman, is back. All of his Robins are playing better, but they are a mini skid to close out the year. They just played Milwaukee. Game was close for 30 minutes, and then it wasn't close. Did they get some immediate revenge now at home, in which a pretty raucous home environment there?
I think the Green Bay home crowd is actually very, very good.
It's been rallied this year.
Man, I love Bart Lundy. I love Sonny Wicks. This is a great coaching matchup. Noah Reynolds, I think, is the X factor. He's playing. I lean Green Bay, and I would have said Milwaukee for sure preseason.
That's the correct answer.
Green Bay. Yeah.
Against the pressure, you need Reynolds. Reynolds was pretty key in that first one against their press, and they just wilted. The freshman young guards wilted against Milwaukee's pressure there. Jim, Oakland, Purdue, Fort Wayne, Greg Campy, please do not let Fort Wayne score 99 against you at home like you did the first meeting between these two. Just don't let that happen again.
Yeah, I mean, that was back in December when Purdue Fort Wayne was playing well. They were awesome the first 2 months of the year. That's like all their predictive equity is from the first 2 months. They were pretty run-of-the-mill average in Horizon play. They had the one like just domination at Green Bay. And other than that, it was like, all right, we beat IUPUI, we beat Detroit, et cetera. Okay, cool. I actually like Oakland there, Matt. So go Campy.
Yeah, Purdue Fort Wayne got our attention because they beat DePaul. Like, wow. And then DePaul would finish last in this league, probably, or second to last. So we know whatever that means.
I like Fort Wayne. I like Fort Wayne.
There it is.
How dare you? I'm going to text Craig and let you know you said that. Kai, let's go to the Sunbelt real quick. Coastal, the Paris asking, can they keep it close? 12.5 feels big. I kind of agree against a Louisiana Lafayette team that's without their point guard today. I think Folks is out, shorthanded. Coastal's been a little bit better, a little feisty, got some size up front. The Shantha clears.
And their freshman point guard, Jacoby Meyer, is awesome.
Yeah, Jacoby Meyer's awesome. Really good.
I feel like a fool for picking Monroe to beat them because Coastal, that guy just single-handedly beat Monroe. Monroe's a garbage team. I don't think Coastal's very good. I don't think they'll win this game. 12's a lot, though. Like I said, double digits in conference tournaments. I tend to lean towards the dog as default or stay away. So pick one of those.
Jim, Marshall, Georgia State, Renzo Bros. I couldn't have less of an opinion on this game. This is two teams I think are just like, pick them. Literally a coin flip.
I kind of thought both would be a little better than they ended up being. Maybe the over, but I'm worried that maybe that Pensacola venue is going to be not awesome for points. Kind of waiting to see on that, so not going to make a big judgment on that. Yeah, this is close to a pick'em game. I don't really know who wins. If you have a strong opinion, I defer to you, Mr.
I do not. I have a stronger opinion on South Alabama against Georgia Southern.
Did we just talk about? What game we just talked about? I might have.
Georgia State Marshall.
Never mind. Yeah. Go ahead. I thought you were talking about a different game.
Georgia Southern, South Alabama. Would you like to discuss?
No, different Sun Belt game. Okay. I liked. Sorry.
Well, Southern Miss is what you like, probably.
Yeah,
I agree. We'll say that for best bets. Wink, wink. But Kai, do you have a take on South Alabama versus Georgia Southern? Georgia Southern, not the same team away from home. That's my take on this game. Sorry, I'll stop touching my mic.
This game tips off at 11:30 Central Time here.
Early.
South Alabama.
Good boy. Richie Riley.
This is not the same South Alabama team that made the run last year, okay? It's not even close to the same team. Not the same close talent, so don't expect that. But I think they get it done.
Good first round matchup, I think, for them. They have no size, but neither does Georgia Southern. Jim, Renzo Bros with a great question, which will contain my second best bet of the day. Pacific at Pepperdine, WCC. And who cares? And winner will be beaten to a pole next round battle.
I am not sure how to handicap this because Romar is coaching through the tournament. And I know the angle is Millet's in the portal, but like he might play through the tournament.
Still.
Right. With Romar being there still. Yeah. So I wouldn't make that your angle on this game because I think there's a pretty strong chance that he's still in there. I have just beyond no opinion when I don't know what the motivation level of either team is given their coaching situations.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to retract my best bet from that pool.
Okay.
Yeah,
wait, did you lean Pacific or Pepperdine?
I like Pacific a little bit.
See, I think there's a bit of a galvanization when a coach gets fired. First game after that happens, I tend to think that team covers more often than not. That's just anecdotal.
But technically both these teams fired their coaches, but Romar is coaching. It's weird.
Romar's like a send-off. It's like, thanks, coach, for all you've done. Because he's a well-liked guy. Like, his players actually really like him. So it could be a galvanization the other way.
I mean, like, Pacific money line feels just like in a who the hell knows what happens. Just why not throw
They won no games the entire year in this conference. And
Pepperdine's actually been really good against bad teams because they have more talent than you and they just beat you to a pulp if you're not any good.
Yeah.
But they get beaten themselves against good teams. Does that conclude? Two more. Sorry.
In the chat, real quick, Helms, the bracket. No, the bracket setup's not stupid. WCC. More conferences should do it. Why? You want to send your best team to the NCAA tournament. That's how your conference gets money. That's how they get recognized. You want to stack the deck in favor of your best teams. More leagues should do it.
I will say I sent it to you guys in our group chat, but somebody structured the Big Ten as if it was the WCC next year. It'd be a 10-day tournament with somebody have to win 10 games in 10 days to go from the bottom to the top. It's a very funny looking graphic. I'll retweet it after this, but I like it for mid-majors to favor the best teams.
Yeah.
I agree. Like the Missouri Valley and the MAC, both two quality mid-major leagues, consistently don't send the best team, and it just kind of screws the regular season winner pretty often.
I prefer the normal one. To be clear, like I like the chaos as a fan. As a conference, though, it's smart to do it the way the WCC does it.
Yeah. Toledo,
I mentioned
Akron,
in the chat, Millette hurt his knee. I haven't seen anything definitive on if he's actually out with the knee injury. I know he got banged up last game or potentially hurt. I don't know for sure if he's in or out.
Last one, UC Irvine playing Cal Poly, who is also without it. Well, John Smith has been relieved of his duties. He will be coaching this game, I believe.
Is he really?
I think he's coaching this game. Yes. I laid 22 with Irvine. You don't have to ask questions.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a bully better this year. You guys do this. I'm trying to do this a little more. Just bet the crap teams that have no.
I did it well last year. I didn't do it well this year. So.
Yeah. Like UT Rio Grande Valley, bet against that team. That team's toast. All right. That concludes Chat Mob Round 2 Best Bets. I have a decision to make here, Jim. I'm going to go to you first. Sorry while I stall. Is that okay? Or is Kai ready to
I'm just sticking with one today. Okay. That is the Austin Peay North Alabama over 148.5. I think it's just an efficiency bonanza, layup after layup on both ends of the floor. The guards are really good. There's going to be plenty of spacing. Force is the only real rim protector, and I think Austin Peay can kind of play him off the floor with their speed. So, over for me. That's all I got. To Kai?
Well, Matt, did you like Southern Miss? Because I was considering that as the best bet. I'll be honest.
Oh boy.
Here, I'm just going to say this. Here are the 4 games I like the most on the side, and you can call them a best bet if you want or not. So I like Southern Miss.
We'll call them better bets.
I like Southern Miss. I like Fort Wayne. I like Sam Houston +9, and I like Lehigh -2.5. Those are the games in my pool. So pick your favorite out of those guys if you want a best bet.
I'll play them all.
Or play them all, whatever. You can't
parlay them all.
Parlay them all. Bet your entire. Don't do it. Don't do it. I can't recommend this. It's problem gambling. Matthew, go ahead.
I will take Southern Miss as my best bet. -2. Miss Little Value, I think that's just a great spot there. Crawley's playing. Texas State, good, better. God, it's up to 3 now. Is that the Weave Steam? I can't endorse 3.
Is there 3
okay,
Southern Miss?
It just went up to 3 at Circa. I see it's 3 across the board now. I'm sorry, mobsters.
Thanks.
All right, that's been axed.
Pick free show.
We're taking Coastal. I know. I think it's the right. It's a winner. Coastal +12.5. I think that's a great side. Great take from our mobsters there. And I will ride with Richie Riley and the boys of South Alabama, the Jags laying 2.5. So Coastal +12.5, USA -2.5, and that's it. Kai.
Love it. Hey, again, please sign up for the giveaway, the Circa Sports giveaway. Win a free trip, free 3-night stay, that is, to Circa. in Las Vegas, March 28th through 31st weekend, Sweet 16 Elite 8. We're there doing live shows. Hang out with us. Go to Stadium Swim. Watch basketball all day. It's bliss. Why not? Sign up for it. Get your mom, your dad, your cousin to sign up for it. All it takes, your name and email address. We're announcing the winner on Saturday's Best Bet show. Fellas, are we back tomorrow or are we off tomorrow?
We're
I think
off
we're
tomorrow.
off tomorrow.
We're off tomorrow. We're back on Saturday, 10 a.m. Best Bets. Catch you then. Good luck on your bets. Be good. Enjoy basketball. Day ball, the best time of the year. Cheers.